What's up, fool? What's up, fool? What's up, fool? Dropping into the space because some things are in the space. So I just wanted to check in with y'all and also to hear your perspective. I would love to hear your perspective on what's about to be talked about. But I came across this post that, what's up, fool, what's up, fool, what's up, fool, bless. So I came across this post from one of my friends speaking about some new variant that is found in France called IHU, and it has like 46 different mutations and I don't know, a bunch of other things. And I said, let me go into the comments and just see what people are saying right now. And part of me knew what I was about to read and what was going to be there in the comments. And the other half of me was like, let's actually see. Let's get curious on what is being talked about. And I jumped in the comments and it's just beer people cracking jokes. Saying like, yo, we tired of the vid and all of its cousins and all of its friends, and we're over this, or we're all gonna die, and like just all these different projections and thoughts. And what's interesting is that it's a joke now, it's funny now, yet when we're experiencing the byproduct of this thing, then it's not so funny then, when there's like this lockdown, or when someone's like family member ends up becoming, sick at that time, whatever it is. And what came up for me most is that then to go somewhere we've never been, we must be willing to do something we've never done. And much of humanity is still identified with the old way of being, still identified with what our grandparents and their grandparents have been eating for hundreds of years. We're still identified with the type of music or the type of things that we do, the things that we put on our body, just because it's labeled or deemed as like, this is the thing to put on your body. This is the thing that'll make you smell good. This is the thing that'll make you look sexy, X, Y, and Z. And that is contributing to the state of frequency of where we are as a people, as humanity, because we're utilizing these things that are lowering our frequency. We're utilizing these things that are keeping us restricted into these confined boxes. We're watching Netflix, we're watching movies, we're consistently being programmed by music, by advertisements, by billboards, by the grocery stores. The thing, you just want to get a thing of water. You know how many aisles you have to go past just to get some water? Like, we're consistently being programmed, and not one person, well, won't say not one person, because obviously it's many people. However, like dropping into those comments and seeing how not one person spoke on in the community, and this was on the Shade Room, not one person within that community spoke on what we get to do as a people. What we get to do as a people to shift this state of vibration, this state of frequency or thoughts that is happening right now within the collective, to bring about change, because it's an inner-outer game. What we create internally then is reflected within our external experience. And it only makes sense that this is a happening based off of what we are giving permission to. We all have choice. And each one of us may not feel that we're truly creating an impact in this world, yet we are. That's why we're here. That's why we are birthed in an extension of source, of God, Goddess, Absolute. Like, we all play a part. We all play a role. And how we're choosing to be embodied, how we're choosing to be that vibrational portal or unit, like, how am I going to choose? Just like the quote that we all love is like, be the change you want to see in the world. We want to see this thing gone But yet we're at the club every weekend taking shots of tequila. We're putting on piles of makeup. We're consuming food first thing in the AM, late at night. We're not consuming nutritious foods. We're not actually breathing correctly, especially women. We want to act like our stomach's all sucked in and we look sexy and shit, yet we're constricting our breathing, which is limiting oxygen flow throughout our body, throughout our organs, which is then creating the environment and the space for illness or dis-ease to manifest itself. And it's like, it's common, it's not common sense. However, it's like, again, to go somewhere we've never gone, we must be willing to do something we've never done. We want to be and experience different things, yet be the same person each and every day. It's just not going to happen. And on a micro and macro level, like I was driving one day and really just became aware of how many restaurants are here. Especially being like living in Miami, there's restaurants everywhere for every and anything that you could think of. Like, you got Cuba up the road, you got Haiti up the street, you got Jamaica around the block. You got like soul food, which isn't really soul food, up the street. And then on Instacart and Uber and there's constant advertisement, there's constant conditioning and constant food. Isn't it interesting how not once has it been talked about within the news, within the government, whatever the case may be, on actually going outside and sunbathing, breathing correctly, consuming juice. Like, that's consuming fresh juice hasn't even been talked about. And yet when these things arise, we play into it so quickly and then become the puppet. We become the audience that they're desiring and intentionally creating. We then become that. We become identified with it. It then becomes our life. And then we have something to talk about with our people or our friends or our coworkers. It's like every time we go into work, that's the topic of conversation. Man, it's crazy out there, man. Yeah, man. How you doing out there? I know, man. It's been rough. It's been tough, man. Like, those conversations, I'm like, stop it right there. Stop it right. I'm not going into that. And many people, like my cleaners, when she comes over here, Regina, it's like I don't feed into the conversation, and they can feel it when I'm not saying, yeah, man, that's crazy, and Biden is this and Trump is that and all these other things. And it's like not feeding into that, and they can feel it. And it's interesting, like The Matrix, the movie, like they can feel it when you're not in it. They can just feel it. They can see it, because we're choosing to cut the veil of this denseness, of the programming, of the conditioning, of the matrix. Like, and when we choose that consistently, because us as ourselves, we're in the process too of like, yo, what is real? Many of us have grown up to trust the government, have trusted the medical industry, have trusted our parents who trusted them. So it's like, I trust my parents. And many times it's not because we wholeheartedly have, but because our parents as children, we've witnessed and experienced our parents struggle. And as children, the biggest thing that we desire is for our parents' approval, is for our parents' love. Right? So if we're coming from a space that we desire our parents' love and approval and the safety, then our father, our mother, and then they're saying for us to consume these foods. And if you don't consume these foods, you're grounded. I'm taking your phone away, or you're not going outside to play, or you better sit down and eat before it's done. And it's like the plate's getting cold. You're like, you want to just throw it under the table. And I say this from experience, because I just wanted to stick that pork underneath the table. I was not having it. And, that then becomes engraved in how we operate in the world and how we do things out of approval and control and security. We want to have certainty. So with wanting certainty, we then play the same game over and over again. And that's why many people don't experience the epicness, the spaciousness, the pleasure of what life has to offer on a moment-to-moment basis, because we're not willing to go where we've never been before, to shift our experience to what it never has been before. If you actually chose, if we said tomorrow is going to be the last day on earth, and like, what would you truly commit to? What would you do? You would get up off your ass right now off of the couch. You would close Netflix right now, and you would do and embody and be who and what it is that you know yourself to be. And it saddens me that humanity finds it funny, finds it something to speak about on social media, because it may not yet be in their direct experience of life, yet it is. Because we're always, and that is creating our life experience, whether we're going to feel it within the reality in this now moment, or 2 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. So if we know that we hold that powerful choice, why not do something, commit to something, visualize, be the vibrational frequency of that which we desire to experience, of the love, of the pleasure, of abundance, of health, of joy, play, wealth of finance, wealth of money, wealth of health. Like, why not be that embodiment now and operate from that space to shift the reality in which we experience, to then be the domino effect within humanity. Like, we are all operating as one organism, each a cell within the micro of the extension of the universe, of God, Goddess, Absolute. And we divinely hold the ability to transmute and to shift the experience here on this planet. And if and when as many human beings truly commit to that and remember that and embody that and practice that, because it's a practice. And by practice, I can feel into that word that it may be daunting. You know, practice means we have to choose it consistently, and it's going to be hard. Or we may be judged or ridiculed for practice and not getting it right. Like, that's the biggest thing that suppresses human beings. And I've experienced that for most of my life. Of being in the practice in one moment and then being judged or ridiculed by family, and then not fully stepping into it when I know it was the truth for me. Who gives a fuck? Because the moment that you continue to embody what's true for you, people are going to feel that. They're just going to feel that it's different, that you're different. Your auric field, your beingness is different. And when you embody that space from like compassion, not holding any judgment for other people, just being on their, on their wavelength, then those people that are in your community, that are in your space, then end up changing as a byproduct, because they realize that they are the same fucking person as they were 1 year from now, 2 years from now. Their parents, their grandparents, the same people they're talking shit about, they're the same exact person. And again, I am experiencing this in this now moment. And I am in the practice. It's not easy. It's challenging being a human being right now on this planet. Yet I'm in the practice. I'm in the practice to notice when the wounded ego, or when the mind, or when the controlling aspect, or the feeling unworthy, or whatever it may be, shows up. And I'm like, that's interesting. Like, why are you here? Where is this coming from? Like, actually sitting with myself and getting curious. Because there were many times whenever these things were coming up, I didn't feel worthy to even question myself or reflect back on myself, because of what I was taught by my parents and their parents and their parents and my family and society and social media. It's real interesting. And again, like, dropping into the comments in that post about this new variant, like, Come on. You got to go. If in order to experience that which we've never experienced, we must be willing to go where we've never gone consistently on a moment-to-moment basis, because we are rewiring whatever age you are at right now in life, fill in the blank. We are rewiring years of that and more from what our parents have experienced and their parents and their parents and our ancestors, especially those whose ancestors have experienced slavery. And we have the nerve to show up on a daily basis thinking shit is a joke and not showing up for ourselves. And then you desire to experience all this like worthiness and abundance and joy and of love. But how are you choosing that for yourself? You want everyone to be healthy. You want this shit to be gone. Yet how are you choosing health within yourself? Are you choosing to rise up each morning and then first thing is hop onto social media? Versus actually spending a moment with yourself in the reality space outside of dreaming? But it's like, nah, I can't deal with myself. I can't deal with these thoughts and like all these things that I have to do. And I have to drop off my kids here. And I have to deal with my parents. I have to deal with my coworkers. I have to deal with my boss. Oh, traffic, da-da-da-da. It's like, and then we hop onto social media is for first thing you rise up to like, you see what I'm saying? And it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you hop off of social media and then you're back in the same thing. Then you get to actually be with the overwhelm, and then you eat the foods. You eat food first thing in the AM to suppress. And we're suppressing and suppressing and suppressing. We can learn so much from children because the moment they experience an emotion, they scream, they cry, they run, they hit. And then a few moments later, they're laughing. And many times with those that are operating from a conscious space to be supportive to children, we allow them the space to feel that, to actually get curious because they don't know what these emotions are. They're just allowing it to move through and to finish itself. Many of us are experiencing these emotions and we don't allow ourselves to feel it all the way through because we're suppressing it with Netflix, movies, social media, food, sex, weed, alcohol. And it's creating the environment for this thing, these variants, to manifest. And much of it, my belief, is fear-based. They're not even real. Sugar, yeah. It's not even real. To me, in my world, in my reality, these variants aren't real. They can't even come into my space. I've been around so many people that have experienced these vids and these variants. Not once have I even got a itchy throat because it's not real in my reality. It cannot touch me. And with the conscious knowing of that, I choose the highest, I'm in highest service to myself each and every day. And when I think I'm not connected, I'm connected. When I experience overwhelm, when I experience sadness, when I experience control, when I experience frustration that this person didn't do this right, or I'm pissed off at this person, or I didn't feel cared about at this person, like, be aware of that. Shift that. It's like when I feel I'm not connected, when I feel that things aren't going right, when I feel like things aren't going the way that I desire them to be, I know that I am always connected. And that's the difference from those that are a byproduct of the outer world rather than the inner outer. Many people are a byproduct of what the news says, of what Cardi B says or does, of what my parents have said or done, of what my partner has said or done. And I'm afraid to leave them because I just don't want anyone else. I don't want that person, him or her, to be with somebody else because I'm afraid to be alone. Like, it's so deep. And again, like, we are when we choose to allow what is happening outwardly to affect us with the vids, with all the different things that are happening right now on this planet, we are then being the puppet that they need us to be in order for them to feel fulfilled, in order for them to be successful with receiving all of this money and feeling in control. We are feeding them. Like a virus, we are feeding them. So we're feeding them rather than feeding ourselves. Whew. Yeah. As you can see, like that really hit, that really dropped in. Let me know in the comments what you all are feeling, what you're hearing, if this resonates, if this doesn't, and you got, other things in your reality. Let's go. I'd love to hear what y'all are feeling from this. Scary thing is that many are unaware of the unhealthy programming that society is feeding us. Yep. Because you don't know what you don't know. When you're in it, you don't have the conscious thought or the awareness to think otherwise, because it is a part of your reality. It is a part of your identity. And that's where compassion comes in, with being able to consistently choose yourself and what it is that you're stepping into, although it's different from everyone else. But how can I be the compassion as I am cutting the cord of thousands of years of suppression, of depression, of fear, of illness, of less than, of control. Like, a lot of these things have worked in the animal kingdom and they don't work right now. We're not going to get mauled by a bear when we step outside. Like, we can relax a bit, create our own reality. It's a disservice to ourselves when we are choosing to be the byproduct of someone else's creations, of someone else's thoughts. And that's what we're choosing. Every time we choose to hop on Netflix or social media rather than being with ourselves, rather than actually carving out moments for ourselves. We're doing a disservice when we're choosing to eat processed foods every day, then create a nourishing meal from home. Like, actually creating a meal stimulates different chemicals within the brain that activates our creativity, that activates our vision, that activates our manifestation, our psychic abilities. Like, it's all in union with each other, with joy, of pleasure, of play. Like, it's all in unison, and it's what our hands are for, to create, to feel. And like, the digestion process begins even before it goes in our mouth. Like, how are we choosing to stimulate that within our bodies and the chemical reactions within our bodies to support the digestion? And many of us are eating these processed foods. We're ordering food, picking it up, and then eating it. But like, the state of vibration and how that was created, and even those people may be experiencing so much stress or overwhelm in their life, and then they're creating our food, and then we're consuming that energy. How they've even gotten the food. How do we know how that even got there? How do we know the person even had respect and honor? Like, oh, they cared so much about me. They put on gloves. They prayed for it. They actually washed it very well. They made sure it didn't touch the floor or the table. Like, they cared so much about me. And I'm so grateful to eat this food. Like, unless it's like, there's this one vegan spot that I went to recently called Planta in Miami. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And the food was just so fresh. And there's many things that the owner of Planta uploads, and he shows like him actually harvesting and getting the kale, the cilantro, like all of the things from the farm, and going to make the food that same day. Like, that was really good. That was really good. No promotion, but if you're ever in Miami, check out Planta. Don't let them steal your joy. You help people for a living. Pretty cool. Bless. I appreciate that. And that's what's beautiful again about doing the work. And I'll be on here for another like 5 minutes and then I'll hop off. But that's another thing about being in the practice of this, is that when we're building up the body to hold that which we are calling in. So as I chose to be of support and to be a guide, to support others in remembering their truth and their power, I know that comes with other things. And even when I was doing coaching and mentorship before, being on a call with a client, with a person, is also coaching for myself. Because the moment, and this is huge with many of the healers and the detox coaching and different things like that within the industry, is that they're coming from a space of book knowledge or YouTube knowledge, right? Many of them haven't traveled and gone to certain places on this land to truly learn from Mother Nature as we're utilizing her and being a facilitator for that. And with healing, when you're supporting people with healing, especially with food is like crack. Food is like a drug to where people are attached to it. They must eat or else they become angry. They invoke this different spirit whenever they don't eat certain foods, whenever they don't eat sweets or eat salts or whatever the case may be. And that is also a coping mechanism for some other trauma that has been experienced in their life. And coaches right now are coaching people throughout detoxing and healing, yet they're not supporting people on that deeper level, because it's so much more than letting people know of the best times to intermittent fast, or how to step into a fast and then how to break a fast. Like, how are you supporting that person in being able to understand, understand why things are showing up in their life, why they are the way that they are in this now moment, and getting them to truly experience and reveal who they truly are underneath the masks, underneath the conditioning and the programming. And when you're a coach and you're in that practice, all right, let me say these two things. Ego will show up when you're like, yes, I did that for them. I helped them heal this thing. Like, yes. And we just feel hype, right? That's ego. Ego is like, feels joy from that. They're like, yes, feed me, feed me, feed me. That we're no longer there in service to that person. And then there is the other aspect of feeling triggered. You may be on a call with a client or working with someone, and then you feel triggered by the questions that they're asking you or what they're saying or where they're coming from. And this is also showing up, and so when you're in that environment, you get to reflect back when you're speaking with someone else or in that dynamic of like, I'm feeling like super pumped up right now. Like, oh, I'm the shit. I helped them like get past that blockage or whatever. It's like, interesting. Where's that coming from? Why is that showing up? It's because throughout my life, my parents felt that I was not worthy enough. I felt like I had to work to get the approval of my parents to bring home straight A's. Or I had to feel like this in my relationship. And then like the ego feeling triggered, the same thing may come up throughout life in different aspects. So to bring that to a close, that's what's so great about being in the practice, is that when you experience just different things in reality and life, you're able to self-regulate. You're able to self-regulate yourself. And for those that aren't familiar with that word, I invite you to give it a search and dive into what that looks like and what that feels like, to be able to self-regulate ourselves. Because right now, many people are regulating with food, regulating with social media, regulating with Netflix, regulating with sex, regulating with weed, with marijuana is the hugest thing. Like, oh man, this was super stressful. Like, now there's another variant out here. Yeah, I gotta call up my plug. I need to smoke something. Like, yo, Keisha, what you doing right now? You want to link up? Oh my gosh. And again, speaking off of experience, like I've been in all the different places and it doesn't work. It doesn't work for what you're calling in. Again, building up the body to hold that which you are calling in forward. Me and my other half are aligned. My parents and family are in a line. They are programmed to believing in what these people are producing. And how are you navigating that? Like, I would love to hear more about how you and him have been able to navigate that dynamic, because that is challenging. I love listening to your stories. Bless. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, I know I've been talking for some time, so just dropping into the comments and reading what's here. Marie Rules. Hi there. My whole family loves the chop raw. It has so many health benefits, but I'm still trying to get rid of this acid reflux, nauseous, and inflammation in the stomach. Yeah, so nettle is great, and food for the blood is a great start. And then, of course, consuming veggies, fruits, non-processed foods. So this is the time to back off the grocery store, hop into our farmer's market and get those individual ingredients to create that food from home, because we don't know what's many of us don't look at the back of boxes when we go shopping, so we don't know what's actually in the food. And then if we're going to, eat out, we don't know what's in that food either. Pausing on the oils as well, and just consuming more raw foods will support you. And nettle infusions are powerful in ridding of acid reflux and inflammation in the stomach, and really coating and soothing our mucous membranes. Because our whole digestive system, from the mouth to the butt, is all covered in mucous membranes, and we get to support that. I feel stuck, unmotivated, and depressed. I feel that. I was experiencing that today, and Ellie is for lifestyle. If you can speak more to what exactly is coming up for you. But I was experiencing some of that, not feeling motivated today. And I was speaking with 2 other people that were feeling that as well. And for me, I feel that it's the frequency on this planet and what is happening. And it's interesting that I came across that post, which is where this conversation is coming from, on the Shade Room about the new variant. And what we get to honor is pausing and being still, to be the center, to be the eye of the storm, where it's calm, where it's peaceful, where it's centered, and being okay with not desiring to create. Like, we have been conditioned to feel that we must consistently produce and consistently create these strategies and build these things. And it's like, we as human beings don't get to consistently create and work. We get to consistently be out in nature and climb trees and run and move and all the things. And that's what I chose to do today, is to not work and to do all of these things. I pushed back a few meetings, and I just got outside and ran and moved around and got myself in nature and moved out this stagnant energy. Because one thing that we end up doing again is leaning on the crutches, is eating food, is lying down, is hopping on social media, seeing what I can swipe through to get my fix, to actually feel like I have some energy flying through me. So we want these quick dopamine fixes. Then we hop on Netflix and want to watch a documentary and feel like, oh, I'm actually doing something fucking productive with my life. I'm watching a documentary. It's get out and move. Even be inside. I came back inside and I was just stretching, and I stretched for an hour. I started loosening up my hips. I was loosening up my arms. It's moving this stagnant energy around and actually being present with myself, and feeling into what's up? What's up, mama? How are you feeling? What's here? And if you don't know, Beautiful. I'm just going to be here with you, and we're not going to do anything. We're not going to listen to anything, any music right now. We're just going to be in the silence, the stillness of all that is, and allow for whatever is present to come forth. You know, and that's for me is the most powerful thing that we can do when we feel unmotivated, when we don't feel clear enough, when we feel depressed, when we feel anxious, is to move the energy, get out of the environment and the space in which we felt that emotion, because that's just going to re-download and connect us to that experience, because we have evidence to support that. We have evidence of, like, I was sitting there and that's where I felt that thing, and it's real. That's when we, like, experience the depression, when we believe it's real in our reality. So move, get out of the environment, get out of the space in which you felt that, move the energy, and actually be in stillness. Be still with yourself. Be in silence. For me, when I was experiencing depression, I was clinically diagnosed as severely depressed at 11 years old. I was on different antidepressants at 13 years old, and I was in different mental institutions when I was a child throughout middle school, with the white padded walls, all the things, because of severe depression. So I've been in the consistent work of navigating depression and anxiety and suicide thoughts since I was 12, and learning and being in, like, psychology and getting to experience what those modalities are, and feeling how that does not work, that doesn't truly work. There's a different practice, there's a different process that we get to do for ourselves that truly deepens us into our essence as spiritual embodiments and extensions of God, Goddess Absolute. And we are always connected. Again, when we think we're not connected, we're connected. It's just the fog, it's the conditioning, it's the outer programming that's consistently conditioning us to believe that we are not worthy of, that we need to be here in order to feel worthy, that we need to have created this, to bring in this, to feel worthy enough. Oh, so good. Speaking to my soul right now about being scared to be alone. Yeah. Yes. Don't know what happened, but definitely had a day of overwhelming emotions. Yeah. So interesting. Again, like, when we question what's happening and we think of it just like a human body, like this planet is an organism, and what we do to it, it will then react similar to with inflammation in the body when it's attempting to save itself, right? So we as sentient beings, we as conscious beings, sentient beings that are created from the aspects of earth and the elements of earth, we feel it so deeply, and we do not give ourselves enough credit. When we experience these emotions, there's something quantumly happening that we get to pause and attune into. Outside of listening to all of the videos on YouTube and motivational things, it's like we are all the motivation we need when we actually be quiet, when we actually just be still, because it can be very painful and it can be very beautiful with what's revealed for us at that time. Which supplement of yours do you recommend for eliminating waste in gut, and how to maintain a healthy gut? Yes. So our veggies, our fruits are the most powerful thing that we can begin incorporating. However, to begin to clear out the pipes from that stagnancy and that stagnant waste, you want to utilize some colon cleansers, and as well as not only colon cleansers and intestine cleansers, but support our digestive system as well, because there's things that are stagnant within our gut too, within our stomach. So even our more gentle ones like blessed thistle or nettle, red clover, burdock root. What other ones? What is that other one? Mucilages just different mucilage herbs is something that you can use for your digestive system from the mouth to the gut. And then utilizing more stronger herbs to supporting clearing out the intestines and the colon, similar to our TCC blend, Therapeutic Cellular Cleanse, which we have in capsule form and tea form. You can use cascara, you can use rhubarb root. Ginger root is always something that I have on deck to support. And then we have baobab as well, which is good for prebiotic. There's many people that are selling probiotics, but they're not replenishing the body with natural gut bacteria. So baobab is another one. Baobab is powerful, and we have that on our site as well. And that is from Africa. We received that from Africa, Tanzania, and it is so delicious. It's so good. I utilize it in my smoothies on a daily basis. Y'all have seen me. And even my teas. I use it to sweeten my teas. So instead of using agave or honey, just put a little baobab, and it's sweet. It's super sweet and tangy, so you just need a little bit. I'm just loving the energy you're giving. Self cells dropping gens. Subconsciously, we are feeding the virus. Yes. Yeah. We're giving life to it. So with that divine choice that we know we hold each and every moment, each moment we rise up, it's what are we choosing now? What am I choosing now? What am I choosing now? Awesome. Awesome. All right. So 5 more minutes, truly, or less than. If no one has anything else, drop into the space. Blessed for everyone tuning in. If you didn't catch this from the beginning, catch the replay. Powerful. Powerful, powerful. Whole foods, yes. What do you recommend for rheumatoid arthritis? Okay, so for arthritis, you want to rid of inflammation throughout the body, and you want to support your bones as well. So what I recommend for arthritis is Chaparral. We have our Vitality capsules specifically for those that are experiencing arthritis, but we have for individual ones, we have Cat's Claw, we have Chaparral, we have Food for the Blood as well, and nettle. Nettle is so powerful for those experiencing every and anything. Create a nettle infusion and just drink that daily. You can't overdose, and it is so deeply nourishing. There is one time that I created like a ceremony with nettle, and I made a nettle infusion. I had crystals around it, and I had it just sit in a mason jar by the sun for 24 hours. And I strained it and I utilized it. And just sitting with it, it was, one, the deep green color that it had was just magnificent. And it had this foam that was colorful. It was just sparked with life. And I consumed it, and literally in maybe about 10 seconds or less, felt the energy moving throughout my body. And that's what we want. That's what we want when throughout every moment of our being, right? And if we're experiencing any form of unease, especially something that's a byproduct of inflammation, we want to feel the oxygen flow running through our body. And we want to create the space for us when we're utilizing vegetables and fruits and other whole nourishing foods to be able to access our organs, to be able to access our cells and our bones, every part of our body, to actually supply the nutrients to that space. Because if we don't have oxygen flow, if we don't have a clear flow of chi, of space, of blood flow, then it's not going to be an experience of healing. So those will support you. Those will support you divinely. When will you get the mucus pills? The mucus pills, are you speaking of cordoncillo? Possibly cordoncillo. So cordoncillo, unsure, because there's so much happening right now with the borders. So many of our herbs are from overseas. We receive them from South America. We receive them from Africa, Mexico, and even Canada. That's where we get our chaga from. And with how things are happening right now, it's challenging for us to get in plants. And the harvesting process. So we're working in alignment with nature, and we do not use any fillers. You're getting 100% of the herb in your capsules. So we're not keeping our stock just to sell y'all fillers. We don't do that. So Cordoncillo Unsure, I miss Cordoncillo so much. I miss its energy and how well it worked. For those that are experiencing gout, IBS, any digestive issues, stomach ulcers, Cordoncillo is epic for that. So epic. When we use stock on the music pills anymore, lots of people don't have that option. Mahasa Jenkins, what do you mean? A lot of people don't have that option. That's so important because we aren't robots. Yes. Bless. Is it the leaves or fruit in your bitter melon? It is the fruit within the bitter melon. Within the bitter melon capsules, pardon me. Drinking chi for the body now. Beautiful. Love it so much. How are you feeling? How are you feeling with that chi for the body? Can you feel the life force energy flowing throughout your beingness? Do you feel the clarity? Do you feel the presence, the peace as you're consuming that blend? How do you feel? What does it spark up? Spark up within you. That's what's powerful about plant medicine, is that it reveals that which we are already capable of. And I'm beginning courses and coaching the beginning of February. I'm starting a course, and then possibly by end of spring to summer season, it will be coaching. But that's the thing that we're diving into, and it's going to be so good because it's what many of those that are within this space of detoxing, of healing, of herbs, and of plant-based aren't speaking about. And it's exactly where we're going to go within the courses and the coaching. Like, you won't even expect that that's where we're going, but that's where we're going. And it's powerful that the plant medicine is only a support for everything else. The plants support us in amplifying what's already present, what we already hold. They are not only of support to be that anchor to heal of cancer, or to heal of herpes, or to heal of fibroids or tumors. It's like, what is being revealed? What is amplifying right now? What is being amplified internally? And let's work with that. How can we utilize that amplification within our vision so we can use that to speak what we seek until we see what we said? What the biggest thing is that's going to be within these courses is that many people utilize the herbs and they're like, is this going to heal me? Is this going to rid of herpes? Is this going to heal me of this STD? Is this going to heal me of diabetes, of high blood pressure? It can. And if you do not support and serve the foundation of that, it's going to come right back because you are calling that in, yet you don't even know it. You're calling that in, but you haven't spent enough moments with yourself to actually feel internally who and what you are, to know when something is from an outside source or an internal source. Is that thought coming from what I watched on Instagram? Or is that thought, that pulsation, that feeling, that experience coming from internally, of what I know to be true, of what I've created internally, uniquely, through me, as me? Because again, we are all God, Goddess, Absolute in form. And it's time we remember that and fully embody that. No more playing the game of doing these fucking detoxes for 7 fucking days and then not going back to do the work. Truly. And that's what's missing. And I'm so pumped up. I'm so fired up to begin these courses and begin these programs, because I'm like a weapon. And I know I'm a weapon because, again, I embody it. I am consistently in the practice, and I hold myself to that standard, and anyone else in my space. And anyone else in my space. And at moments I can be challenging to work with, because I hold the mirror where many people don't want to see themselves for who and what they are. I hold people to that standard because I truly, truly desire the best and the most epic, potent, prosperous, pleasurable, powerful life experience that we all individually get to experience. And I personally have experienced that throughout my life and know it to be true. A person who was in a mental institution at 13 years old, diagnosed severely depressed at 13 years old and on medications, am able to experience the pleasure, the prosperity, the abundance, the juiciness, the flow, the love, the self-love, the healing, the health within my life. And it comes with consistent work, because again, we're peeling back the layers of years and years and years of conditioning. And it's so fun, because it can be fun. It can be so fun. See, I'm fired up right now. I feel like running around a corner. I said 5 minutes and it's been now like 15. And this is what's beautiful as well, because this talk began with something that is very heavy for many of us. And yet again, we are able to tune into this space, like all 51 of us, and even those that are tuning into the replay, we are able to tune into this space in this here and now and anchor into remembrance, anchor into compassion, anchor into peace, anchor into curiosity. And if you may comment down below what it is that's coming up for you, because I don't want to assume, because that's what I'm experiencing on my end, is compassion, of peace. But I would love to hear what it is that is coming up for you, because this is, and no need to experience fear around it, but this is where we get to actually vocalize it, to presence it, because it continues to expand even outside of this live. Plant medicine cures. Yes, Iboga is the best. I saw my mom's life as a kid and the future. Oh my goddess. It was amazing. Teddy, I experienced Iboga as well. I did a week dive with Iboga, the beginning of 2021. And I experienced the same thing. I was able to go back in time and witness my parents and what they've experienced. And that supported me so much in healing things with my parents, especially my father. And I haven't yet gone on and explained my Iboga experience in ayahuasca as well. I experienced ayahuasca more than 10 times easily. I don't remember the exact amount, but those two plant medicines. And with Iboga, I was going to go to Gabon to get initiated by Mugenda. I don't know if you know of Mugenda. However, your girl was like, after that first week, I'm like, I think I'm still marinating in the medicine. That's how intense it was. Beautiful. Hell yeah, that chi for the body got me feeling embodied, feeling fantastic. I feel like I'm experiencing everything. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. You should publish a book as well about the herbs as well as the food that are good for the body. Yes, absolutely. It is fun. Yes. Yes. Bless the plants for allowing us to connect with healing source energy. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Grateful. Yes, yes. Powerful. Yes, yes. Amazing. Amazing. All right. I think I feel complete. And I also feel like this is what I needed to just vibe with y'all. Because just today, I'm sure y'all felt just today wasn't it in terms of creating and working, right? It was all of the emotions, all of the feels. Yet that's the beauty of human experience, is that it's beautiful. We're connected even when we feel we're not connected. Like, it's beautiful within the profound and the profane. It's always beautiful. I got some paint from painting. I've been getting in touch with my child essence and remembered that I used to love to paint. So now I'm painting again. Isn't that so awesome? That's so cute. I'm like, you go, girl. You go, Shan. I love you, girl. All right, bless. I'm going to, so I know it's a cure for it all. Yes, absolutely. They say Dr. Sebi had the herbal medicine cures for all. Yes. Well, the planet has all the herbal medicine cures for all. And we ourselves hold the intelligence to cure all. That's what's powerful about it. And that's what's powerful also what Dr. Sebi embodied, is reminding us of who and what we are, of our power. And he uniquely did that within himself. And it's time for us to embody that. It's time for us to embody that. So I appreciate y'all just being in the space. I'm grateful and excited that I got to speak a bit about the courses and programs as well that I'm creating, which wasn't intended. And I'm telling you, like, the reason why I didn't begin it is because of how intentional I am. And me and my team have created Upful Blends to be a powerful, strong foundation for what it is that we're building, and being able to have that portal that is Black owned, and being able to shift the narrative from what our lineage has experienced. And Upful Blends being able to be that space, that warehouse, the warehouse specifically. For those that don't know, we have a warehouse. We do everything in-house. We have 30 team members that work with Upful Blends, and building that has just required much energy and intentionality for myself, because it's me speaking to 30 people on a daily basis. So now that I have the support, have bomb managers right now that are supporting me, so I'm able to shift and connect more intimately with y'all. So I'm really hype and excited about it. And also with the training that I consistently do and the practice that I consistently do, to be able to be a powerful facilitator for you all, and to be able to actually hold the space. Because again, there's people doing detoxes and health stuff that just aren't holding the space that gets to be held, and guiding those back to how we truly get to heal on a quantum, cellular, energetic level, to just be powerful human beings on this planet. So blessed love. For those that still have more questions, if you can drop that into the replay, and we'll just hop in and I'll answer those questions. But I'm going to peace out for now. I appreciate y'all. Drop it into the space. I love you all. I see you. I see you. I see you. Just be in this present moment. Be in your most authentic and integral space and state of being. Nourish your body with what truly electrifies you. Choose to love on yourself from the moment that you rise up, to check in with yourself, and to truly be the change that you desire to experience in this world. Whatever is here on social media, whatever is within the realm with all of these variants, does not have to be true for you in your space. It does not have to attach itself to you. Blessed love.